Talk to me with Adedoja Allen.
Remember, in the multitude of counsel, the real safety.
Talk to me.
City 1051 FM, your number one lifestyle station. Time check. It's 30 minutes past 8 p.m. today, the 11th of February 2021. Hello and welcome to another edition of Talk to Me with Adedoja Allen. The show made its premiere last week, Thursday, and I would like to say a big thank you to you for your audience. I would also like to say a big thank you to those who called in to share their experience or experiences on the show. I salute your courage to speak out and talk to me on what you're going through. This show was deliberately set up to dissect and discuss complexity of marriage from compelling human stories about relationship, lifestyle, and how best to deal with it. I intend to bring in experience and expertise perspective on relationship, family, marriage, and impact on our social life. I am your host, and my name, once again, is Adedoja Allen. I am the MD CEO of City 1051 FM. So let's go into the show. Our discussion is an offshoot today of last week's topic. We had so much to say last week, but so little time. So by popular demand, we brought the show back. Listeners contacted me to say they needed us to continue the conversation this week, and that's why we are here. We spoke on infidelity in marriage from the woman's perspective. Why women cheat. Why women cheat in their marriages. We were able to establish some facts as to why the case of infidelity in marriage is on the rise. Some reasons were attributed to frustration in the marriage, which is one common trigger. The cheater may make several attempts to solve problems to no avail. That was the story of my guest last week, frustration in her marriage that came from her husband, and my my first caller who added to what she said also experienced the same thing. I'm going to play for us the excerpts from those two conversations just to remind us, and for those that were unable to join last week, for them to have a listen, and then the discussion begins. Take a listen.
I still have to do things myself. I felt I'm not being appreciated for being sick. This is not how it's supposed to be. I just want him to listen to me sometimes, and he just wants to have it his way. And I'm like, it doesn't say we should listen to one another. I should submit to you so you hear me out. It's not a relationship affair. You should listen to me. Why listen to
So are you talking about your husband or the other guy now?
husband?
Okay, right.
Husband now. You understand? But I think I fell off track because I lost focus. My heart wasn't in God anymore. Even if I was still going to church, I lost focus.
I really want to say infidelity, nobody plans to do it. I think some things lead women, some things lead men
Right.
to do such things. I will take myself for an example. I have a husband that has not been working for more than, 15 years. And we have kids, and I've been the one taking care of the kids. And most times when I come back home from work, it's been accusation upon accusation, coupled with the traffic in Lagos. And you are late, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I didn't even know where the thing was coming from. He comes out like, what's the meaning of this? He kept accusing me of prostitution. I said, how can I be doing prostitution, and I'm bringing home money for you to eat, and you still take it, despite all I do. When I leave home, I found out that when I leave home, he doesn't do anything than to just go on Facebook and be chatting with girls and be telling them different kind of things.
So, those two voices were, or are rather, the voices of the two women that I spoke to last week. But both of them have cheated on their husbands. The first reason is she said that she wasn't appreciated by the man. He doesn't listen to her, and then the reaction of that for her was she just lost her focus and fell off track. And before she knew what happened or what was going on, she fell into the arms of another man, a man that would take her to work and bring her back. She tried to preach the gospel to the man, tell the man about Christ, and one thing led to the other, and she found herself in his arms. That was her own reason. The second lady, her husband hasn't worked for 15 years, so she is the breadwinner of the family, looking after the family, doing everything. Instead of the man to appreciate her, he comes back, abusing her, torturing her with his words. You're a prostitute. Where did you go to? This and this and that and that. And she apparently wasn't even doing anything like that. And so his words pushed her into the arms of another man. And so that's what happened. So another reason is, so those are the two reasons. I know we're all itching to join, to contribute. We're going to open the phone lines just very shortly. Let's talk about more reasons. Another reason could be lack of communication. In marriages, we live in a world where so many couples find it difficult to have sincere conversations with their partners. This communication gap lingers on for so long, and it causes a strain in marriages. Many women do not realize that the devil in their marriage is not actually the other woman. It is the lack of communication between spouses. If you do not speak to your spouse, then I wonder what you expect to happen. Other reasons are childhood trauma, mental illness, feeling unappreciated. We've talked about that. Unhappiness, dissatisfaction, and sometimes finance, just to mention a few. So tonight I have prepared some interesting questions that will enable us to dissect and discuss the issue of infidelity in marriage with reference to the confessions made from last week's show. I will be opening the phone lines for us to discuss this issue. To be part of the show, you can get through to me on the phone line 0700-1051-1051. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp as well. The number on WhatsApp is 0909-916-4403. The telephone line once again is 0700-1051-1051. So you can call us. Before we open the phone lines, I have another story, so that we have like a robust package to dissect today. Remember, it's a conversation and not a condemnation. We're talking about social issues that affect the lives of people, man and woman in marriages, and we're hoping and praying that the discussion would bring changes to those affected. So the story is about a woman who has been 17 years in her marriage, and she suddenly found herself in a sexual encounter with a younger man. The guy is tall guy, a 32-year-old man, and she's 42, 6 feet 4 inches tall, 10 years between them. Her husband had gone behind her to do a vasectomy without discussing it with her. And he was a very busy doctor who barely had time. He loved her but was totally consumed with work and hardly paid her much attention. Then she meets this handsome young man who showered her with so much attention and compliments. walk through their paths together, and each time he saw her, he soaked her with delicious compliments, which she reluctantly but hungrily absorbed without realizing what she was doing. He turns up at her door one day. Hobby was out of town, and while showing her work, he seduced her, his eyes and his touch, and then her goose was cooked. As a woman watching, we understand perfectly the very art of this subtle, deliberate seduction, and then the fall after. So she fell, for a guy that was younger than her, and then the guilt trip starts with her. But the guilt trip made her, in her own case, end the relationship immediately. I talked about another story last week. There could be many reasons. Her reason was the fact that, again, her husband didn't have her time. Last week we talked about a woman who just wanted to explore. She got married as a virgin, and she just wanted another taste of another man. So many reasons. Let's talk about it. What do you think? What do you think? What would you say? What's your contribution? Call us on 0700 1051 1051. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you're welcome to the show.
I don't know, can a man contribute over this?
What did you say, sir?
I said, can a man contribute over this, or
Yes,
is it especially for women?
No, a man can contribute. Go ahead. We had male contributors last week. Can you please turn down the volume of your radio?
Okay, I'm calling from Lekki,
Okay, you're welcome.
and this show, I'm married with 3 kids. So I think the problem we are having on this is it comes from women, because most of them, when you're dating, you see women pretending to be what they are not, and immediately you marry to them, and the next thing you see, you get surprised. So men cheating a lot, it's always caused by ladies. Okay, like I am married. I do heaven and earth. I'm not in Nigeria, always in Turkey, coming to see my family. And each time I try to correct my wife, and what she does is always said, you correct a lot. And you see her doing the same mistake. Like, you see house chores, keeping the teeth very clean. You see she lack all this manner. Then even when you go and get a house help, you see her trying to shout at the girl, and just like 2 weeks, most of them will say they are not working again. And you cannot do it perfectly. What comes next is when you come back and do the food, you were not able to prepare it in your own taste, and you try to put her in order, she's not taking it. But what you do next is to go outside, and by then you return and you're having some issue, fighting and the rest. Before you know it, you just go off, and the next thing is you start maybe talking to a nearby or a girl you met on Facebook, and you see men going on through this. If women can be able to adopt very well, and focus and know that struggling is not easy. You see many men going outside doing a lot of things, it's not easy. And coming back, a man is putting you in order you don't want to hear. Why would the man cheat? The man will cheat. I have no less than 6 women that are willing to even get married to me. But why I'm not doing it? Because of the kids. And that does not mean, and in the next future that my kids are grown up already, I must definitely go for the one that will take care of me when I'm old. Because if you cannot be able to wash myself very properly, cook very well for me, and I've done all my best to put you through, you don't care. Your own is to fix nails, do a lot of things, and you even the kids, you don't take care. So what do you expect? And I'm making the money. So once I'm able to, still a young boy, 40 plus, I'm maybe in my being 45, definitely my first child should be maybe 18 years. I should get married to a woman that I know when I'm old, and maybe definitely I'm sick, she can take care of me. So these are one of the things that put men in cheating. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your contribution. Even though it sort of takes us away a little bit from today's discussion, but we will address it because one of the objectives of this show is for us to dissect the reasons why certain problems are happening in marriages, for both parties or either party to take a cue and learn lessons from it. A discussion is very key. That's why the tag line is, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. So what you're saying there is you're giving an advice to all the women, married women. You said they are the ones that often drive their husbands to cheat. It's not like there should be a particular reason, but there's always a trigger. So the trigger is that the women are the ones that drive their husbands to cheat. And in your own case, your wife drove you because she wasn't listening to your complaints or instructions that you give in the marriage, and one thing linked to the other. Before you knew it, you found yourself in the arms of another. So women or wives that are logged on now, we can hear that when our husbands come home and they complain about one thing or the other in the marriage, I don't like this, I would like you to do this, instead of seeing it as a complaint, like he said, too much complaint, it's better for us to take it and, use that to correct ourselves or correct our wrongs and make amends. To join the conversation, it's call 07001051 The number again is 07001051 Hello, good evening. Hello, can you turn down the volume of your radio, please? Okay, we lost that call. All right, the number again is 07001051 And if we have also contributions from our Zoom audience, we'll take those as well. Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh, we lost. All right, so now let's go into the discussion. Based on what we heard last week, the two excerpts this evening, have you cheated? Are you a woman who has cheated on your husband and you would like to share your reason for cheating? Now, our own reason for discussing is not to condemn you. The act is condemned, yes. For I know that at least the two women that we spoke to last week have repented and they've stopped what they're doing. They've learned their lessons and they've just vowed not to do it again. So it's a conversation and not a condemnation. But we'd like to know the reason so that we can learn lessons from it. The men listening can learn lessons. Like the other caller said, it's the women that drive the men to cheat. I want to believe also that the men drive the women to cheat. We're not celebrating or saying that it's a good thing, too, but we want to dissect why it is so that everybody or each party can adjust themselves. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, do you want to tell us your name, or do you want to remain anonymous on your contribution?
My name is John Amma.
Okay. All right, you're welcome to the show. Let's have your contribution.
Okay, my contribution is that I listen to you well. Those people that are doing that to me, they don't really have fear of God. There should be no reason. I'm talking as a man of God. There should be no reason why a married woman, a married man should cheat. There should be no reason. Those that does it, they don't know God. They don't have fear of God. If they have fear of God, if they worship God in spirit and in truth, you want to discipline yourself. You will not go contrary to go against your husband, against your wife, and against God, and against the church of God. It's just very disappointing that a lot of people go to church, but they are not really children of God. There's a difference between a child of God and a Christian. So that's what is there. So those that may be Christians, they may worship, they may be Muslims, but does he know God? Hello, are you listening to me? Are you following me?
Yes, sir. Go on. Go on.
So if the person has fear of God in him or her, he can't do that. I'm married for how many years? So the time when I got married, I stayed for 7 years without a child. My wife didn't cheat me. I didn't cheat her. And I knew one day we'll have children. And at the end, we just have children after 7 years. 4 children. Within 7 years, we will have 4 children. And we have been living. So we don't cheat each other. So because we know what we are doing, we love each other and we love God. God is the one who brought us together. So there should be no reason, my dear sister, for anyone to cheat. I don't like hear those type of things. It gets me upset. So there should be no reason, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Well, I choose to react to that. There should be no reason, but when people find themselves doing it, we will not condemn them for doing it, because even the Bible says, he who thinks he stands should take heed lest he falls. If we remember the woman that was caught in the act of adultery, Christ didn't bang and tell her, you have no fear of God, you are this, you are that. He just called her to himself and told her, go and sin no more. So the reason for this conversation is for people to air their opinions, talk about what they've done, their mistakes, and learn from their mistakes, especially those that are Christians, that they found themselves falling. They have repented, they have restituted, they have moved on, and they have vowed never to do it again. And I'm sure that they are forgiven, because our God is a forgiving and a loving Father. I will probably not approach it the way you've approached it, sir, because even if yourself and your wife do not cheat because you have the fear of God, it doesn't mean that you will not sin from time to time. We all fall and sin, the little lies, the sins of the heart, the sins of omission and commission, different things. So I would want us to, look at it from that angle, that when people make mistakes, it does not mean that they do not have the fear of God in them. It just means that they just simply allow the flesh to come in, and they just fail. People fall. Anybody can fall. We are at different levels or different degrees in our relationship with God and with the Holy Spirit. Yeah, you sound like, yes, you're a strong man of God, but okay, that's fine. Other people might not be at that level, and they're aiming and aspiring to get to that level. So the discussion continues. Thank you for your contribution. So if you've had, if you're a woman out there and you've ever cheated on your husband, on your spouse, and you want to share with us what happened and your lessons learned, and if you confessed, you told your husband about it and what his reactions are, please give us a call on 0700-1051-1051. And for the listeners, let's discuss, if your partner cheated on you, would you rather they be honest to tell you or never tell you? And if they tell you, what would you do? Would you forgive them or not? Now, let's play our next excerpt from a man who has had the experience. His wife cheated on him, and listen to what he had to say.
A complete confession that she has confessed to God, and God has forgiven her. But the scare here is that she has not been able to confess to the husband, and that would be total healing and total forgiveness, because it's an offense to the husband, an offense to God, isn't it? So he applied wisdom into her. He needed to discover whether the husband actually loved her, and in as much as the husband loved her, there's the room for forgiveness. Because it happened to me, I forgave my wife. My heart opened up to me, and I had to forgive, because she opened up to me. So there is room for forgiveness. She has not done such again, and we're living fine. Are you getting me?
So his own perspective, he had the similar situation where his wife cheated on him. She confessed to him, and he forgave her. So he came in from the angle forgiveness is both to God and to man. So that particular sin, this particular sin is actually a sin against man, not so much, yes, God, but mainly against your spouse. So he advised that the ladies, yes, they've received forgiveness from God, no doubt about it, but they should also look for an opportunity and speak to their husbands about it, hoping that their husbands will forgive them. Okay, so that's his own perspective. What would you do? You are a man and your woman cheats on you and she confesses and asks for your forgiveness. Would you forgive her? Would you let it go? Or would you allow it to scatter the marriage? Join the conversation 0700 1051 1051. Hello. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Can you turn down the volume of your radio, please? So that I can hear you well in the studio. Thank you. All right, go ahead. Thank you. It's better now. Go ahead. Oh, we lost the call. All right, you're going to call back. Number again is 0700 1051 1051. To allow me hear your calls properly, very clearly, please turn down the volume of your radio, your car radio. If you're in the car, turn down the volume so I can hear well in the studio and we can get the conversation.
Tayo calling from Lusada.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Tayo.
Yes, ma'am. Although I didn't follow for last week, but I followed the one of this evening. And then for the one that said she has been married for 15 years and the husband has been not appreciating her. I think, in my own experience, though I'm newly married myself, but in my own experience, I think she's just looking for a justification. But though not to condemn her, but in such situation, I think the best place of it all is for her to approach the man and seek for help if it's for them to go for counseling so that they can be counseled and not accepting or allowing the man to talk her down because he has belittled her and by that sole reason pushing her off and pushing her to another man's hand. Because I know once another man, married women who appreciate compliments from younger guys, they always fall victim. And that thing is common with our married women these days. A young guy will just throw ignorant compliments at them, and the way you see them blush and appreciate it is alarming. A young guy will just see a married woman, and most of these young guys, they do it deliberately, just because they want an already made, already finished goods, and they don't want to take care of another woman or for their own self, but they want a woman whom somebody else has been able to nurture to a certain height so that they can just come and reap where they did not sow.
Very much. Thank you. So what you said there is for them, the lady that said her husband hasn't worked for 15 years, to go for counseling, seek help for the situation. And then you're also saying something that is very key. You're warning us women not to accept compliments from men, especially younger men. All right, so the phone line is beeping. Okay, I think we lost. Okay, so we shouldn't accept compliments from any man that is not our husband and the younger men. Okay. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I'm listening to your program.
Okay, thank you.
Last week and today. One thing I want to put into there is some men, they do provoke. Some men, they are the fault of why their wife should be going outside. Me, I'm using myself as example, but I did not go to that level. But when a man are not appreciating his wife, a man no shop to woman to at least you can make out of things out of that place and can take care of yourself. Man is not giving a woman money to make hair, no cream, book. So what are you expecting the woman to do? Somebody who wants to be clean. She know about makeup to dress clean. So to my own opinion, is men that make some their women to start looking at outside. That is what I want to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was going to ask her when she said she didn't go all the way. Okay, she's contributed as well by saying that it's the men that push the women to go and cheat. So it's always the blame goes to the other party. The man, the guy or man that called said that it's the women that push the men to cheat. The women are saying it is the men that push the women, or that pushes rather the women to cheat. So she's saying now that the husband or the women or the men do not appreciate women. So it's all okay. We've had a few callers, few contributions that tell us it is lack of appreciation from the men's side that causes the women to go and cheat. It's not a reason. It's not a reason to cheat, because we all know that. But okay, we're dissecting different scenarios, what leads to it, at least the root cause, and then we now talk about the solution to the problem. So we're finding out and digging deeper into the root cause of why the women that cheated and why they cheated on their spouses. To join the conversation, it's 070010511051. Okay, all right. So the conversation is, have you cheated as a woman? What was your reason? We've had, a few contributions. Not appreciating. All right. Is there any other reason apart from not appreciating? And if you're a man that your wife has cheated and she confesses to you, what would you say? Are you going to forgive her? I want somebody to give us a call. Give me a call and tell me if he would forgive her if she cheats on him. All right. Okay. So we've talked about it. So we now know from today's discussion that men and women cheat for the same reasons. What do we mean by that? The men have said the women push them. The women have said the men push them. So the same reasons. Not good enough though. But hey, all right. So now, can I ask us contributions to, if you think that for a relationship that they've cheated on one another, either of them, do you think that the trust can ever be built once somebody has cheated on the other person? The phone lines are beeping. I'm missing your call, so please call back. Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome to the show. Tell us your name.
My name is Clement.
Okay.
Calling you from Adedoja. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
All right. I don't know. I am the kind of person that has a good heart, a heart of forgiveness. When I was dating my ex-wife, she cheated on me twice. Then that twice, I forgive her. I told her not to do it again. So thinking that maybe after marriage, maybe she will change. Then, after 2 years of marriage, she cheated on me again. So I told her that, is this how it's going to be? Is that going to be continue all the time to forgive you? Even during the time you are dating, I will forgiving you.
Did she tell you the reason? Did she tell you the reason she cheated?
She told me. I was asking her, why are you doing this to me? She said that nothing, that
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
She said that I did not I am not good for her. So
So I was like telling her that, okay, I'm not good for you and you allow me to marry you. After marrying finish, then you cheat on me again. That this marriage cannot, I said, okay, this marriage cannot work. I have to divorce her. But then I have given me a bouncing boy. I have to divorce her. That is how I do it. So for a woman to be cheating on a man, it's not like that. Even for a man to be cheating, and I'm a very straightforward person to her. You understand? So I didn't see the reason why we will be cheating on ourselves.
Yes, that's very correct. Thank you very much, Mr. Clement. Thank you for your contribution. So, Mr. Clement there has had his ex-wife. Oh, I forgot to ask him if that was the reason they divorced. Okay, I'm sure that was the reason he divorced her. Asked the ex-wife, an ex-wife who cheated on him, not once, not twice, and she refused to stop. And her reason is he is not good enough for her. On inquiry, if you knew that I was not good enough for you, why did you get married to me? So his conclusion is infidelity in marriage is bad for either party. So we should not do it. We should desist from it. And for those that do it or are currently doing it, is saying that it's not a good place to be in a marriage or in a relationship. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Mary. I'm calling from Otta.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
I'm a single though, but I'd just like to contribute. I think cheating is a really bad thing. But, women are kind of people that think fast, but they act slow. So, the man should be able to figure it out. And they are living together under the same roof. She'll be acting well, because whatever she's saying or whatever is not make her to cheat on him, she will already be thinking about it, putting it on herself. So we need to cause some changes in her character, which the man can look at it. So I don't know if you get it.
Yes, I do.
So, but if the man is in, should I call it, even reasoning to that side, and because I think if the relationship was and it was good enough, they won't have any reason to cheat. If the woman finds everything she wants in a man, like sometimes in the power of love, maybe something is happening in the house, she can't take care anymore, she just has to rely on another person, and boom, from there, it's cheated. That's how it's usually. If the man can look stable, I think it's nice. So, because of issues that's coming from outside.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Ejike. I'm calling from Ojo. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Ejike, okay. Go ahead.
Okay. It's not good for husband and wife to cheat. It's not good. Even in the presence of God, it's not good. A man said that it's not because they sleep with the wife that is paining him, but because of what they have told this woman to convince her to open herself, which means they must have reduced him to pedestrian level. So, like I myself, if my wife cheats on me, that trust can never be there again, no matter what. And for somebody to continue managing the marriage, it is better for you to let the woman go. So that's all I have for everybody to this night.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ejike. Thank you very much. So Mr. Ejike's contribution there is he will not forgive the woman. He's going to allow her to go. So, okay. We're delving in deeper and deeper. What would you do if your wife or your husband cheats on you in your marriage? Would you forgive him? Would you forgive her? Give me a call, 070010511051. All right. Okay. So we want to talk about the forgiveness bit and if you could ever rebuild your trust in one another. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Hello. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, I can hear you. Turn down the volume of your radio, please. Okay. All right.
Can you hear me properly
Yes, I
now?
can. Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, please. Go ahead. Do you want to tell me your name?
My name is Shegun.
Okay.
From Ikondo.
All right. Hi, Mr.
I've been listening to your conversation for some minutes now. I think what is lacked is communication. In every marriage, husband and wife are bound to commit shortfalls. You understand, but by the time both of them sit down, this is what I want in my marriage. Why can't you cope like this? What is the remedy? How can you do it? You are not appreciative. I'm sorry. I will keep on doing that. You are not doing well in the aspect of husbands and wives. What is the remedy? Look for remedy. By the time both of you talk it out, there will be a solution. But by the time you have an inch in your mind, you can't express it to your husband. Your husband has an inch for the wife, can't express it to his wife. So things will keep on going on in the way that both of you do not want, which not make the marriage to go forward. So husband should be clear to be able to express himself to the wife, and the wife should be able to express herself, himself to his husband. Like the other man that called, that said that my wife cannot cook, I cannot do this and that. As a remedy, teacher, he doesn't listen. Try and keep on correcting her, not for you to do otherwise. Because if you do otherwise, your children will suffer for it. Your family will suffer for it on the long run. So instead of doing that, keep on correcting her, keep on advising her, keep on telling her, don't talk to this person this way, don't talk to her this way, so that our marriage will work. Because all those things, God did not want it. You think you are doing it where we are now. What of where other things happen? Where do you want in eternity? Where do you want to go to? So correction is the best thing in communication. And let's listen to one another. I think that is the best thing that I think we should do. Hello?
Thank you very much. In fact, you've melted my heart. You said correction and communication is one solution for the couple. That's absolutely correct. If, the husband corrects the wife in love and the wife also corrects the husband in love, I think that it will reduce cheating to a great extent. Thank you so much for your contribution. To join the conversation, hello, good evening. Hello, can you hear me? All right, to join the conversation is 070010511051. Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your radio. Now, tell me, do you agree once a cheat will always be a cheat? Do you think this is true? Or do you think that if the person has made the mistake once or twice, they're not going to do it again? Hello, good evening. All right, so tell me, once a cheat, always a cheat. Do you think this is true? For those just joining the conversation, this is City 1051 FM, your number one lifestyle station. And the topic is Talk to Me with Adedoja Allen. To be part of the conversation, it's 070010511051. Today we're dissecting infidelity in marriages, why women cheat. And if women cheat, should their spouses forgive them if they confess to their spouses? Hello? Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, madam.
Yes, please.
How you doing, ma?
Yes, fine, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, thank you. I'm very well, thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, beautiful contribution so far from everyone. It's been something very encouraging, I must confess, and a wonderful program. Here's my own take. I am just close to a decade in my marriage, and like the last caller spoke about communication and understanding and taking correction either from both sides. See, in today's home, as young people, as young generation, as I call myself this generation, especially from 70 some, those that have given birth in 75, down to 80 something. See, we are the one that have a lot to do in making sure that our homes, our future becomes better. I keep saying this. Why? Because majority of us are not understanding the environment anymore because of, in terms of technology, in terms of explosion of what we are exposed to from the Western world. You get my point? So we take too much in. There's so much we are consuming without really understanding ourselves as in person. If you come back, for example, when I get home and I see that before I used to get angry, and I get home and I say, oh, my wife is tired. Maybe she's taking the kids to school, and I'll just get into the kitchen and do what? And prepare my meal and eat and sleep. But reverse should have been the case. I would say, Madam, wake up. Give me food. I must eat. Where's my food? Why is it not on the bed? You see now. But before I would have done that, but I started understanding that if I do this, it will be a problem. Now, that same person like get up and say, oh, I'm supposed to do. I say, no, don't worry. Go back. Now, where am I going to? Because I understand that we are consuming so much, and because I don't want my home to get scattered, because once it happens, it affects the children. That's the responsibility. Now, that takes us.
Oh, I lost him there. Wonderful contribution, talking about the fact that we have a lot to learn in this generation. We tend to want to consume so much of the Western culture. Okay, I think he's probably back. Hello? Hello, good evening. Hello? Oh, okay, we lost the caller there. All right, we're going to wrap up the discussion now. I'm not sure I'll be able to take any more calls. Okay, let me take my final call. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay.
I want to remain anonymous.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
If my wife cheats on me, I'm going to forgive her. Why? Because I love her so much. It's not as though it's premeditated, but I just feel that if can I withstand losing her? I cannot withstand it. Women are taking a lot for men. Men cheating. In fact, 90% of men cheat on their wife, and these same women stay with their husband. So why won't I do that? But that's on on one side. And there's an issue, very important issue. That's why I want to remain anonymous. My wife's elder sister, who we love so much, is married for 13 years. And I think she got married at the age of 20. And her husband is well to do. He's giving me her everything she wants. But I realized lately that he is having an affair with his first boyfriend. All of a sudden, every time you see her gathered up, she would like to the husband that she's coming to her place. But in reality, she's going to see the other man. After she will come to her place and spend only maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and she quickly leave and spend the whole day with the man. And I noticed this, and I've been complaining. This has been happening for close to a year now, and I know a lot has gone into this. I'm telling you, she must have compromised a lot of things. In fact, my wife was saying, I was telling my wife, please, why don't you speak to your sister? If my wife is afraid to speak to her, not because she's afraid of her, but she doesn't want to lose her relationship. She doesn't want to lose that trust, because she told me that the minute she tells her about this thing, her sister wants to draw away from her, just the way she normally comes close to us, all of us will be fine. She doesn't want to lose her sister. And I asked her, why don't you allow me to talk to him, or find the number of that man, give me the number of that man, let me call this man one-on-one. I want to see you somewhere. The man did not know me, but I know the man. So I will meet up with him somewhere and discuss this thing with him. That, do you think that this thing you're doing, is it right? So I just want your opinion before we wrap up, please. Give me an opinion. What do you think one should do in this area? Because for me, I love them so much. I love the husband so much, and I love my sister-in-law so much. I don't want to lose them. I don't want their marriages to shatter, because they have 4 beautiful kids.
So I don't know what has gone wrong with this lady that she's doing this. So what would you advise in this situation?
Thank you very much for your contribution. Yes, I would tell you or give you my own counsel. You first of all, you started by saying that because you love your wife, you're going to forgive her if she cheats on you, so that the listeners can hear that on our Zoom platform. And then over to your sister-in-law, your wife's older sister. The ideal thing is for yourself and your wife to call her to order. You need to speak to her and you need to tell her outrightly to stop the act that she's doing. You've said her husband is everything to her. So what is her reason for cheating? What can possibly be her reason for cheating? We're not celebrating reasons here. We're condemning the reason, the act and not the person. So we're learning quite a lot. And what she is doing is absolutely wrong in the sight of God, in the sight of her husband, in the sight of society. It might be a difficult thing for both of you, a hard pill to swallow, but you guys need to summon up the courage and speak to her. Sit her down and tell her to her face that what she is doing is wrong. You are not supposed to do this. And, speak some sense. Press the reset button for her. Let her know and see that what she's doing. Don't talk to the man. You are going to speak to the man. No, don't talk to the man. You have no business or issues with the man, okay? Speak to your sister-in-law. She's a woman. Tell her exactly what you have said. You have children. What would you do? Because it's possible if her husband finds out, he might forgive her. It's also possible that he might not forgive her. What if he doesn't forgive her and he throws her out of the house? What would happen to this? So speak some sense into her head. I don't know whether they're Christians. I don't know whether you are a Christian. You can bring it up from the biblical point of view and just show her scriptures, what the scripture says about infidelity in marriages. Tell her, quote the Bible, quote the scripture, quote Hebrews 13:4 for her. Tell her what the Bible says, and hopefully she would. But you need to speak to her. You need to bring it up. You need to bring it up and tell her. Okay, I will not be able to take any more calls. The phone line is beeping. Or let me just take one last call. Okay. All right. Okay. So in conclusion, the conclusion is whether you think of cheating or whenever rather you think of cheating, think of your motives and also the outcome. Think of what it will do to the other person. Think of what it will do to your wife and your husband. Even if you don't get caught by your partner, you should consider the feelings of the person you become involved with and think about the consequences of that from God. God frowns at cheating. Hebrews 13:4 says marriage is to be held in honor among all, and the marriage bed is to be undefiled. In fact, it goes ahead to finally to say fornicators and adulterers God will judge. So you can quote that for her. Often when cheating occurs, the focus may be on the short-term benefit or the feeling the act may bring, but it's helpful to check in with yourself about measuring that against the risk. How would you feel? How would you feel? And we know that for some people, infidelity is a symptom of something in their relationship not working. We've dissected all of these, but it's still not a reason. It's still not a reason for you to hurt your spouse, hurt your husband, hurt your wife. We talked about communication. Communication is very, very key. Find time to talk to that spouse, that man, that woman. Express your feelings to one another. Hopefully, it would help. And if you're Christians, or not, pray. You need to also pray in your marriage. Pray about your relationship. Pray about everything that you are going through in the marriage, and obviously God is going to hear what you ask him. So it's a wrap on the show today. Apologies for those that we can't not take their calls. There are many people. Join me again next week as we dissect another topic. Next week's topic will be sex in marriage. All right, thank you for joining. Thank you for logging in. Thank you for staying with me on the show today. I will see you next week. You can continue the conversation with me on Instagram at Doja Allen. Thank you and God bless you.
Talk to me with Adedoja Allen.
Remember, in the multitude of counsel, the real safety.
Talk to me.